Hello there. Hi, are you gaming or talking news?
I'm moving!
Team deathmatch. Time to work, Ghost Squad.
Reloading! Fire! Shooter, uppercut! Enemy down!
Enemy care package incoming. SATCOM ready.
Roger!
Guard dog ready.
I'm moving! Reloading! Enemies in the open!
SATCOM spotted. Mission failed. This won't happen again.
Team deathmatch. Time to work, soldiers.
Send me the.
Enemy SATCOM spotted.
Okay. I think I figured it out. It's on my Facebook, Owen. I really think I just figured it out. I'm just waiting for it to check.
I can just see myself standing there.
Oh, we're okay. It's working. I got it. I got it figured out. Awesome. Okay. So, to restart, we did this before. Sorry, I was having technical difficulties with my sound. I couldn't figure it out. I just got a PS5, so I couldn't. I'm still figuring it out. But anyway, I am Nuclear BFG 9000, and this is Solster115. Solster, why don't you tell them a little bit about yourself, if they can find you on social media or on your Instagram or anything like that.
Nah, my name's Owen, that's just it.
Alright. You can find me on Instagram as fucka.u. I will be making a Twitter here soon for us, because I am trying to make this a solid thing. You can catch me on YouTube at NuclearBFG9000. You can also catch me on Twitch at TheBestShot69. Actually, no, MansBeFire69. Sorry, Best Shot is my Steam account. And you can also find me on Steam as TheBestShot69. So, for this episode, or episode 1, right? Episode 1.
Yes.
This is it's going to be a new series called The New on the New. Well, News on the New. And it's going to be based on gaming news. It's also going to be there's going to be episodes of us giving out tips and tricks on games and what to do in situations that may find confusing to some gamers, and just basic gaming information, or also just me and Owen having fun playing video games together. So for this episode, we're going to be starting off with the news, and then we're going to be talking about the new Call of Duty and why we are playing this Call of Duty. This Call of Duty it's old. To say the least, it's old. It's not the oldest, but it is old. So, the latest in gaming news is Silent Hill is reporting coming back with multiple new games. I've played Silent Hill on my PS4, which was amazing, especially because it was my first time playing it. I didn't play it when it first came out, and just like every basic white bitch out there, Pyramid Head is my favorite enemy, because he is both sexy and will rape your face with a giant fucking, I'm just gonna call it a balisong staff, because it is just huge. But anyway, and Silent Hill was a really beautiful, solid game, had a nice storyline, and it felt very action-packed, but also story-driven. Owen, have you played Silent Hill?
No, I have not.
I don't think it would be up your style, to be honest.
Yeah, no, I don't. I have never played it. I mean, I've heard of Silent Hill, but it's just not my type of thing.
Right. To next in gaming news is Fall Guys is coming free to play and coming to Nintendo, to Switch and Xbox on June 21st. It's coming free to play on Xbox and is coming to the Switch June 21st. I'm sorry, I'm not braining today. But anyway. And then next is the Sony's new PlayStation Plus subscription launches June 13th, and here is the list of games. Sorry, it's loading real quick. I had to switch to a whole different thing. The list of games are going to include Alienation, which came out on the PS4, Bloodborne, PS4, Concrete Genie, PS4, Days Gone, PS4, Dead Nation Apocalypse Edition, PS4, Death Stranding and Death Stranding Director Cut, amazing game. Demon Souls, Destruction All Stars, Everybody's Golf, Ghost of Tsushima's Director's Cut, God of War, Gravity Rush, Horizon Zero Dawn, Knack PS4, Little Big Planet 3. There's like so many of them that it would probably take me so long to list. But Jack 3, I haven't played Jack in a minute. That's an old one. there is going to be a free 2-hour trial for exclusive premium subscriptions, and that's going to be Uncharted Legacy of Thieves Collection, Horizon Forbidden West, Cyberpunk 2077, Farming Simulator 2022, Tiny Tina's Wonderlands for Borderlands 3, and WWE 2K22. And then there is also some list of classic games, which is Ape Escape, Hot Shots, IQ, Jumping Flash, Siphon Filter, Super Stardust Portable, Mr. Driller, Tekken 2, Worms World Party, and Worms Armageddon, and much, much more coming to the subscription side, and just for for the premium subscription side and for regular subscribers.
Keep fighting. Let's win this one.
So, going back into more gaming news, SteelSeries is offering up to 40% of gaming headsets and mice as of today. I am trying to get my hands on a SteelSeries headset because they are absolutely phenomenal. I would also suggest it too, especially if you play those really headset-driven games, like things like
Time's almost up.
Horizon Forbidden West. If you're playing on like a monitor and stuff like that, especially if you're playing on the monitor, I would recommend getting a nice headset because that's where all your audio is going to be. Like, since I'm in the military, I have a very small monitor because that's the only thing that'll fit on my desk. I can't have a nice TV or whatever because I'm also doing a lot of moving around, and having a computer monitor is way better for movement. So that's what I always game with, and I have a really nice headset, and that's really where a headset comes into. So I would definitely check that out. Halo Infinite's next update will bring back the campaign's secret ultra-powered weapon. There was an ultra-powered weapon in Halo 3 that people absolutely loved. I can't remember what it was because that was a long-ass time ago. And people went nuts for it. And then they took it out in an update. Now, people have been wanting it back, and I guess, I forget who made Bungie made it. Bungie is bringing it back. Next into news is Pubg Battlegrounds is earning a lot more money after going free to play. I also heard about this a while ago that because PUBG went free to play, they also had a lot more room for had a lot more money to toy with the servers and add more content to the game. And they're slowly doing it, but it's still a lackluster game. I feel like Owen has the same opinion as I do about it. It's a good solid game, but after a few games, unless you're like running it for competitions and stuff like that, it's really a hard game to really focus on, especially if you're a vast player like me and Owen are. We play all types of different games.
PUBG has got a really big map with it, so if you're not fighting,
also its downfall.
You're running.
Yeah, that is also its downfall as well, is the maps are so huge, and vehicles are not, I wouldn't say rare, but very uncommon. If you know what I mean. Oh, we lost connection. Welcome to the old Call of Duties, losing connection in a game. But yeah, it's also its downfall because it's very wide ranged, and if you don't find a vehicle within that first ring, then good luck finding it on your way towards the middle, because I mean, you may run across one on the road and stuff like that, which is where they're most common, but even then, it's a lot of running. Thankfully, they added that auto run feature, but still, I couldn't tell you how many times I started scrolling through TikTok halfway in a PUBG match.
I can say I've done that many times.
creators of Genshin Impact have also released their new trailer for Zenless Zone Zero. And the first trailer of that came out May 13th. And I watched it myself, and I thought it was pretty cool, because I like Genshin Impact, but then again, I don't at the same time. It's very hard to explain why that is. It's just, I feel like it could be better. I feel like they could have put more work into it, but whatever. I'm just a dude that plays games.
Aren't we all?
Next in news is the Halo show. I'm sorry. The Halo show, I don't know if you've gotten a chance to watch it yet, Owen, but it takes place in a canon storyline to Master Chief. I'm sorry, I'm texting someone. It's probably bad for a first episode, but...
Hostiles inside the church! Roger!
Anyway, so it takes place in a canon world in the Halo universe, and is actually very good. I had a feeling it was gonna feel fake and gamey, and it surprisingly wasn't. It gave a more realistic look into the world, gave it kind of a look as how it would look in today's world. Battle zones are, if you've ever seen the Halo Until Dawn series, web series, that was our first look at a live action Halo anything. And it was really good, but you didn't get to see the Covenant except for shadows. They put no work into it except for these little shadows that would shoot their needlers at people, and you see the occasional person get hit in the face with a needle or something like that, which I thought was cool. It really simulated what combat feels like. It feels very, I don't know what the hell's going on, but I'm going to shoot in this general direction, and I'm going to do it as best to the training as I know. And there's what's in the military, we call it going into the black. I'm sure in police forces or even regular jobs, but going into the black is this place where you know the training, but your mind wasn't prepared for the action, and so when it comes time to commit that action, it's your brain just shuts down and you just sit there starstruck. Maybe not starstruck, but in shock, pretty much. And oh, there's colors. If you guys hear a bugle playing, that's sorry. But anyway, that's what Until Dawn felt like, was just a show about being in the black with just Halo stuff. You didn't see anything that was really going on except for Master Chief coming in to save these kids or whatever, and then a couple of people dying from needlers, and that was about it.
Some pretty big stuff in the Halo world.
Uh-huh.
I said some pretty big stuff in the Halo world.
Yeah. Halo's getting a lot of light shined on it, and I could not see that guy, and I absolutely love it. Because I grew up playing both Xbox and PlayStation. Oh my gosh, I'm not playing good right now. It's probably because I'm distracted, but I grew up playing Xbox and PlayStation, and Halo was one of those things that I love just like I do Call of Duty. That was Xbox's version of Call of Duty besides Call of Duty. But and Halo was such a cool, interesting thing to me because it had that PvP mode where you could fight against other Spartans and stuff like that, but it also had the campaign was fighting against aliens. It was this vast world of fast-paced alien fighting, and it was all solid from the very first Halo to the new Halo Infinite. It's been an absolute solid series, just like, I can't say like Call of Duty because Call of Duty hasn't been solid. It hasn't been for a while now, which is very sad because it is a series that I hold dear to my heart.
Yep.
But anyway, getting on from that, in the latest episode of Halo, the Master Chief decides to get a little frisky with the girl from the Covenant. A little bit of a spoiler, but so everyone's talking about how Master Chief is having a little fun with the Covenant. So that's the latest in Halo news. To further into more not pop culture, but streaming world, Hulu subscribers can score 3 months of PC Games Pass for free with their first Hulu subscription. I think that's an awesome thing that they're doing. Especially, I love seeing streaming services get involved with gaming services, and you can kill two birds with the same stone, and it pays. It pays. I forget. I think it's like like $11 a month if you get a good Hulu package, and $11 a month for 3 months of PC Game Pass. I think that's awesome, especially for PC players. It's very beneficial. I remember that Paramount Plus did something like that, but I can't remember who it was with.
HBO Max or something like that.
Yeah, it was HBO Max that did that. Latest in personnel gaming, Let Me Solo Her defeats 1,000th time Melina in heroic fashion. I don't even think I fought her yet in Elden Ring. We haven't fought her yet.
No. Just
so you guys know who haven't played Elden Ring, Melina is the hardest boss fight in the hardest game. I'm excited to fight her at the same time. I'm also not. Apex Legends Mobile launches on May 17th. That gives me nasty chills. Apex Legends, if you don't know, is a Battle Royale only game based on the Titanfall world. And it does not do Titanfall any good justice whatsoever. It is Apex Legends for, people who love it. If that's your thing, that's your thing, man. But I tried to get Owen into it for a while because back when I tried to get him into it, it was actually a decent game, very solid, blah 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 blah. I tried to get him into it recently, and it was. I downloaded it myself, and let's just say I won't be playing Apex Legends anytime soon. It has really gone downhill. But they're doing what Fortnite did in making a mobile game because, I don't know, they think it's going to make them more money. I'll let them do their own thing.
I think they did make it a mobile game, didn't they?
Apex Legends or Fortnite?
Yeah. No, Apex Legends. I'm pretty sure they already did make it mobile.
It already launched. It launched yesterday. And then, for last but not least, Nintendo's latest wave of Switch indies features Oblets, Mini Motorways, and Tabs. If you don't know what Tabs is Tabs is total accurate battle simulator. And then there's also, for the PC, there is Tab G, which is Total Accurate Battlegrounds, which I really want to get a PC just so I can play because it seems super fun. So, that is it with gaming news. Owen, do you have anything to add on to gaming news?
I do not.
All right, let's get into what we were made here to talk to today. So, Owen, do you want to explain to them why we are playing Call of Duty Ghosts?
Team deathmatch.
Oh, well, we are playing Call of Duty Ghosts today because we are going to talk about the new Call of Duty that is coming out here in 2022. Modern Warfare 2.
We're in the lead.
Basically a reboot of Modern Warfare 2 from 2009. Just better. I mean, the Modern Warfare 2019, just with, I guess you could say, Modern Warfare 2009 characters? Because, I mean, from what we've seen with trailers and stuff, it seems like it's going to be a Modern Warfare 2 2009 strict story. It's going to be Captain Price, Simon Riley, Soap McTavish, and all the Task Force 141 characters. And I can't wait for that.
Oh my gosh, I'm so excited for that. Like that's my favorite Call of Duty series, honestly, is the Modern Warfare series. I'm so excited for it. But continue. Sorry.
We're basically just gonna, I mean, with what we've been playing here, you know, Call of Duty Ghosts 2013 game, and basically comparing it to the newer games and what was offered back then and is still offered now, but is in a better form. First things, obviously, graphics. Call of Duty Ghosts, underrated game, obviously. Campaign was great. Campaign was really amazing. Really, towards the end, had me shocked. That's all I can say.
I think it's fair to talk about the campaign. I mean, it has been out since 2013, so I don't think anybody's getting any spoilers.
Yes, it's true, but I mean, the cliffhanger is just crazy. I mean, the fact that they haven't made a second Call of Duty Ghost yet is unbelievable.
I agree. I find that to be unbelievable as well because of how, like you said, how underrated this game was. Especially, like you guys are seeing right now, I'm playing this on a PS5. My details are as max as they're gonna get for. I mean, of course, there's the PC, but even then, the PC and PS5 processors for an old game like this is very close to similar. Just because of it can only run so much, you know what I mean? And the details just in Call of Duty Ghosts alone, 2013 was a good gaming year. Like, there were some games with some good detail and stuff like that, but not for first-person shooters. First-person shooters were still running on the Unreal Engine 2, I believe, which was basic, just like basic details. Of course, a little bit better than the previous versions, but that's just standard. That's just standard gaming in general. But with Raven Software, this was one of their first games that they started using the Unreal Engine 3. And it became really, as you can tell, it was a really beautiful game, especially for 2013. And especially as you just saw there, that explosion detail, there was those little sparks that came off that explosion and then followed by smoke. Of course, it was a cartoony explosion, but still, it was more realistic than what it was for its time. This game was way ahead of its time.
With Modern Warfare 2019, they did a lot of environmental changes. They made it to where if you were to throw a grenade, say, in some dirt that had some rocks in it, and it blows up, it's going to create a big dust pile. You'll see rocks flowing everywhere. You'll have the explosion, obviously. You'll have a hole, I guess you could say, in the ground representing where, a crater.
Yeah, a crater.
Where the grenade blew up. And, like a big black spot and everything. But really, it's the fact of where you throw the grenade at. Like I said, you throw it in dirt, you'll see some rocks, and you'll have a big dust pile. You throw it inside, everything inside gets thrown around. Like, you'll see papers, like wood chunks, or like if there was a table or something in there, you could watch that blow up with it. Or if you threw it in some snow, you could see some snow get thrown everywhere. It really changed a lot. Like I'm sure older Call of Duties had some stuff like that, but it was really, really noticeable in the newer Modern Warfares.
I just realized you weren't in my game, good buddy.
Yeah, I got kicked for inactivity.
Alright, here, we'll do this real quick. So that way you're in my actual party and follow me around. But yeah, like with what he was saying and stuff like that, the detail in the 2019 Modern Warfare compared to this game...
You might have to restart games, bud.
Okay, give us just one moment, guys. We're going to restart our games because this is an old game and I'm playing on a newer gen situation, and sometimes when entering the party it has an error, and the only way to fix that is to restart the game.
Wait a minute.
Give us...
Yep, there we go, there we go.
Alright, awesome. That makes it better.
We did something.
But, anyway, I know I bought a pack. Can't remember which pack it was. I guess I didn't. I'll run this ice right here. It looks clean. Anyway, so for Modern Warfare, again, it was a very, I would say, clean game. Of course, it looks 90 million times better than a game we're playing on, which is a to remind you again, 2013 game. Oh, I got the hiccups a little bit. And the detail that goes into a 2019 game with that Unreal Engine 4 is massive. Like with Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2019, we saw explosive damage on top of shrapnel damage and elemental damage, which if you throw a C4 onto a flat concrete open area, you're just going to get explosive damage and a little bit of shrapnel damage. That's about it. Because, I mean, you are blowing up concrete, there's going to be a little bit of rocks flying at you, and plus the initial explosion. But also what we saw is if you throw it into, let's say, glass, what could happen is you could blow up C4 and not only blow up the glass, but you could also be on the inside of the building, get blown up by the C4, of course. And then if you had another teammate on the outside, a good 2 or 3 feet away within survivable range, they could get hit with glass, and that glass would take damage and eventually could kill you. And we never saw that in a Call of Duty game, because that's just not how Call of Duty worked. It was you just blow up glass, and the person near the explosion would die. But this was a huge thing for Call of Duty, because it would also do damage to your armor and stuff like that. I think that was my favorite part about Call of Duty. well, Call of Duty 2019, which was that Modern Warfare. But anyway, continue on. I'm sorry.
But with the new Modern Warfare coming out, I would say what I would hope more for is definitely the return of the old campaign characters.
Mm-hmm.
Their story, and basically just some clarification on who Ghost was, who Simon Riley was, who basically I wouldn't say main character, but definitely one of the top characters within the Modern Warfare franchise.
I knew I bought that pack. Sorry. I was looking for this camo pack that I bought, and I couldn't find it. I finally figured it out. Anyway, continue.
But it's the story of who Ghost was and the fact that he's wearing this mask, who he is. It's just, I want to know. I'm sure everybody wants to know.
Oh yeah. And in this game, so just to clarify, Call of Duty Ghost compared to Simon Ghost Riley, Simon Riley was the first Ghost. But in this game, Simon Ghost Riley and these Ghosts are completely different. For those of you who don't know, just so you guys are aware.
Yeah, anyway, just for the clarification. The Modern Warfare franchise and the Ghost franchise, I'm sure they have some sort of story connected, but I'm not too sure on it. Anyway, with the new Modern Warfare coming out and with what's going to be done, a new Warzone game mode, instead of, the Modern Warfare 2019 Warzone, we're going to have a Modern Warfare 2 2022 Warzone. And from what they're saying, it's going to be pretty controversial to what we have now. I guess there was a leak for the new Modern Warfare gameplay. I don't know if you've seen it yet. I believe he had a MP5 in his hand. It's what it looked like. But yeah, it looked pretty similar to Modern Warfare 2019, but it just had a little bit of a change to it.
I have not seen that, but it does sound pretty good. So what I have heard, oh yeah, there's the new multiplayer leaks, but what I have heard for Modern Warfare 2 is they are going to be bringing back a almost close to 100 to 120 guns from previous Call of Duties. And I am absolutely excited for that, because one of my favorite guns ever in Call of Duty resides in this game, and that is the Honey Badger. I felt like the Honey Badger was the best assault rifle in this entire game, because it felt like an SMG, hit like an assault rifle, had the recoil of an SMG, and was accurate enough to be a sniper rifle. It was the perfect assault rifle in the game, and we never saw it again. I think we saw it in Infinite, didn't we? Yes and no. When in Infinite, there is a variant of the NV4 called the Honey Bee. It is a little bit smaller, but it is not like the Honey Badger. It's not like the Honey Badger, if you know what I mean. Yeah. I have that variant, and I can talk about that variant, because, I mean, it's my favorite variant to use. It is it feels smaller, it acts smaller, but it wasn't as balanced as the Honey Badger was in this game. It really just was not. And another thing I'm excited for is the Remington, which is what I'm using currently right now. And because this was another one of those balanced rifles that it was an assault rifle made to be an assault rifle. It hit hard. It felt slower on the fire rate side, but it still hit really hard. Still had a slower kind of fire rate. As you can see, it was a pretty. If I had an SMG, I probably would have killed that guy. But it has a slower fire rate, but hit tremendously hard and just fast enough to be able to pull off plays like you just saw. And sorry, I'm messing with my settings a little bit, but anyway, to pull off shots like those, like that, and I'm really excited for those two weapons particularly.
I would say a weapon I would be excited to come back in Modern Warfare 2, I would say would be the Intervention. And
oh my gosh, yeah.
Warfare version.
The Widowmaker.
Yeah, that was terrible. That was a bad idea on their part.
It truly was. An intervention that shoots a two round burst. How does that make any sense if it's a bolt action rifle? It doesn't display two barrels or anything like that. It displays one barrel, two shots, bolt action rifle. I don't feel how that makes any sort of sense.
I didn't like the sight on it. It just
The sight was terrible.
Big. It felt too big.
Also blocked off too much of the screen. I mean, I know back then, like, it had that completely blacked out screen, but it was too zoomed in and too small of an area. If you know what I mean. But anyway, another thing, so the reason why we are playing Call of Duty Ghosts is to compare this game to a new game, because this is the oldest Call of Duty that we can play as on the PlayStation. And I wanted to talk about Modern Warfare compared to the new Modern Warfare coming out to this Call of Duty. And honestly, with this game and the gameplay of itself is absolutely immaculate for its time. Ghost was ahead of its time, and I think that's why so many people didn't like it, was because it did new things. It had way more texture and we saw more of a shading palette than normal, and people thought it was gray. Huh?
It was advanced.
It was very advanced, and like this shading is absolutely immaculate and accurate too. Like if there's a tree sway, the shadow behind it's going to be swaying too. You never saw that in Modern Warfare 1, 2, or 3. That was never a thing. It was just a solid shadow, even if a tree was like moving. But in this, like the actual shadows would follow the tree movement. Oh, he killed me. I was last kill. And I did so bad that round.
Oh, we both did.
And you could just tell, like even back then, we never appreciated what we had because it was in the time. Like Black Ops 2 wasn't known as the best Call of Duty until I believe like Black Ops 3. of like just a few years after Black Ops 2 came out, because after Black Ops 3 came out, that's really when we saw a decline in Call of Duty, honestly.
Yeah, I mean, when Call of Duty Ghosts came out and they added Extinction, a new zombies mode, everybody went crazy. They were like, "This is different. This is zombies, but it's not zombies."
Right. It was a bresh. Yep, it was a bresh, Owen. I want you to know that it was a bresh.
I know.
But it was a breath of fresh air compared to zombies. It was a new mode that changed.
Felt the same, but it was different things.
Right. It was the same formula, but it was so different. Like, so let's talk about Call of Duty Vanguard for a second, and their zombies. In Call of Duty's Vanguard, zombies is the most hated zombies right now. Absolute most hated zombies. And that's solely based on the fact that they made it all party games. It is all party games. To advance on to the next round is doing a little headhunting or holding down an area or like basic stupid ideas that weren't even really an outbreak. That were, I mean, not an outbreak, but Extinction.
The same concept.
But like the same concept we saw in Extinction, but the difference was Extinction did it correctly, and Vanguard literally made it like it was a Mario Party mode. It was terrible, and it still is terrible. They've finally come to their senses and have trying to make an actual map come out that's point based, like the other ones are. And honestly, I don't even think I want to play it. Vanguard ruined new zombies for me. And, like, they changed the formula in such a terrible way. Like, it's hard to comprehend that that was a Call of Duty Zombies map. Because it was barely zombies. It barely focused on the actual zombies portion and focused on the party games. It was very unimpressive. Very, very unimpressive. I think the last good zombies we got was Infinite Warfare. I think that's fair to say, Infinite Warfare.
Yeah, I would say Infinite Warfare.
Because that was the latest good zombies that we got. And, and even then, Infinite Warfare Zombies has its flaws, but it was still good storytelling. It was still fun, new, bright maps and stuff like that. It was good for playing with your buddies. I wouldn't say it's like play for hours and hours and hours on end fun, but it was good Easter eggs, good little maps. It took place in like a movie setting. That was good. That was a good zombies map.
Yeah,
but
I like how they did the movie scene idea.
Like the rounds were movie scenes. I thought that was pretty cool. But going back into Vanguard, to further move and unlock more of the map, you had to play mini games like headhunting, which is where you kill zombies around this floating head to get it to progress around the map.
Enemy SATCOM spotted.
And then that was it. You reached a certain point, and then it was done. And then you opened up a section of the map. And the next one was Blitz, where it's literally just, if you played the game mode Outbreak on Cold War, there's a little... That was also another thing. Outbreak was all party games, but they did it right. But anyway, there's a game that you would do in Outbreak where it would throw you into this little house and you would survive for like 2 or 3 to 4 minutes or whatever the fuck. And that was it. And that's what Blitz was, except Blitz was an entire part of the map. It wasn't a little area for a little certain amount of time. It was literally fight and fight and fight and fight and fight and waste all of your ammo and pretty much screw you over from when you went back out into the world because you would have no ammo because they wouldn't drop anything special after that. In Outbreak, they would drop you a max ammo or a nuke or a thing that would benefit you and at least give you points to get more ammo. And Blitz just did not do that. And plus, like, it was terrible. But what Extinction did was party games, but it wasn't a party game. It was a story, and you had to kill these hives to further move on. It was repetitive but refreshing at the same time. If you want to go into more of that on, I've been talking a lot.
Yeah, basically, with Extinction, you went around, had these hives to kill, and that's basically, I guess you could say, destroying more of where the hive, or the aliens come from. And doing that, you keep going and you keep going, and you get to, I guess you could say, a certain point of, you know, you beat the game and you fight the boss, you kill him or whatnot, and then you gotta extract and leave. With Extraction, or with Extinction, it definitely did bring a whole new idea and concept of, you know, you could spend your money in buying a ammo box and, you know, give your teammates that and use that for help. You could spawn in, I guess you could say, a mortar strike, or what are they called, the SATCOMs in this?
Yep.
But instead of telling you where they were, it blew them up, like it would kill them.
Oh, yeah, no, that's not a SATCOM. SATCOM is what I just placed down. It's a radar system. The other one, I forget what it's called, but it's called a different thing. It's a totally different thing. There's one that blows up, that shoots missiles at you within a vicinity, and then there's another one that's a SATCOM, which tells you, which is pretty much like the radar.
SATCOM ready.
Anyway, continue.
With Extinction, there was what, 4 maps?
There's 5. The first one was Point of Contact. The next one was, I believe, Nightfall, which introduced the new gun, the Maverick. And then after that was Mayday, which was on a ship. After that was, I forget what that one was, but that was pretty much like the origin of where they came from. And then the next one after that was called the Exodus, and that was like the final map. So 5, yeah.
Yeah, I don't believe Call of Duty Ghosts had Easter eggs within.
Well, the cool part about Extinction was the entire map was the Easter egg.
We'll come prepared next time.
Like, you would play through the map and you would be progressing in the Easter egg. The more and more you opened up the map, the more and more you got closer to the boss fight. And that was the cool part about Extinction, was you were still completing this Easter egg and still going through all these little things, but you were also progressing through the map, progressing your person and stuff like that to find the final boss. And once you opened up that final door, you were at the end of the Easter egg. You didn't have to do math or anything like that like you did in Infinite Warfare to get an Easter egg step. You didn't have to go through countless rounds holding the last zombie on the round, being bored as shit while your buddy went and fucking did 90% of the Easter egg in one round, or all this other different shit. No, like, going through the map, you progressed through it, and that was the Easter egg. This is one of my favorite maps.
Oh, yeah. This is definitely one of the
Oh, jeez.
iconic Call of Duty Ghost maps.
But yeah, Extinction was, I think, the best alternate zombies mode ever.
For sure. I mean, I don't think they've even made a different, other than zombies or anything like that, but I would definitely say Extinction is something to definitely go back on.
And to further how good Extinction was, Extinction was so good that they put it in Infinite Warfare as their last map, a part of their map pack. The last zombies map in Extinction was, in Infinite Warfare was Extinction. It was the aliens. The last boss fight was the aliens, and I thought that was the coolest thing ever. And you got to see the aliens from Extinction in a whole new light. Literally. How did you feel about that one?
I thought it was different, and I thought it was weird at the same time. First playing it, I was like, are we literally playing Call of Duty Ghosts right now?
Yeah.
They looked the same. They were the exact same character model and everything.
It really was. It was like playing Infinite Warfare with a little bit of Black Ops and a lot of Call of Duty Ghosts.
Infinite Warfare, I would say, definitely reminds me of Call of Duty Ghosts.
Yeah,
Ghosts
yeah.
being the bigger brother, and Infinite Warfare being like the little brother that was smarter. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. I can see that. I can see as Call of Duty, like if I was looking at Call of Duty as a family, I would think, like, Modern Warfare 1 was kind of like the mother of the franchise, Black Ops being the dad, Call of Duty Ghosts being the son that went into the military, and then Infinite being the son that went into the science field, I would say. Would you say you would agree?
Yeah, that's pretty accurate representation.
Like, if you were looking at it, like, at a family standpoint. Like, it's pretty out there, but...
SATCOM up with me. SATCOM ready.
But yeah. So, Owen, since we're on the topic of Infinite Warfare, why don't you give me your opinion, your full opinion about Infinite Warfare itself?
SATCOM spotted.
Infinite Warfare in itself, I mean, I can't really say in itself because I never was a whole huge fan of the multiplayer nor the campaign. Never really played zombies either. Never really got into it, but now that I did start playing it and everything, I would say the zombies are also pretty underrated.
I would agree. Zombies in Spaceland is probably... Because I've been playing Call of Duty my whole life, and I can say when I was playing it as a kid, there was an understanding of what I was doing, but I didn't have the full range of how I should really be playing it and stuff like that. Like, I didn't start actually getting into what I'm looking for enjoyment out of the game. But Infinite Warfare was one of those first games where I was like, okay, this is what I like to see in this game. And Infinite Warfare was full of controversy solely based on the fact of the jetpacks. And I would I would say Infinite Warfare could have fared without the jetpacks, honestly. Because if you took the jetpacks out of the game, it would have been, I believe it would have been a way better game. But I also can't see Infinite Warfare without the jetpacks, if you know what I'm saying.
Yeah, I couldn't either, honestly.
Enemy care package incoming.
I feel that the jetpacks were necessary in Warfare
SATCOM active.
only because it was so futuristic. But at the same time, I feel like they could have died it down a little bit.
Oh yeah.
Not too much with the thrusters. Only like 1 or 2 boost jumps, and that was
Like
about
Advanced Warfare jetpacks.
Yeah.
I agree with that completely. I think they could have completely did a way better job with the jetpacks than they did. Because they had that long, drawn out boost, and that was just not what we needed. We kind of saw that in Black Ops 3, but Black Ops 3 was a little bit shorter, a little bit more boosty than it was a jetpack, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, it was. I mean, Black Ops 3, I could say, was pretty much was a jetpack, honestly.
It was.
You could shoot yourself up there pretty much a really good distance. And that was like a necessary movement in that game.
Right.
In a gunfight, you had to use your jetpack.
Right.
You had to use that to fucking get yourself up there and basically make it to where, you know, you ain't in their sights no more. Invading bullets with your jetpack.
I completely slid by that guy. That's funny.
I didn't really like that. I didn't really like the whole evading with your jetpacks and shit. Like, yeah, a quick 1 or 2 boosts with it, but like a full on, here, let me go fly to Mars real quick type thing. That's too much.
Yeah. Especially with that Infinite Warfare shit. That was what you were talking about, right?
Yeah.
Was the Infinite, right, that's what I thought. Like, I can't believe the amount of height you got with it. Like, I just remember, like, I don't even think I can play Modern Warfare on my PS5 because I think it's funny that Call of Duty Ghost multiplayer runs so good on the PS5 compared to Infinite Warfare, and Infinite Warfare multiplayer will just be choppy as shit, honestly. But like, as I was saying, the amount of jetpack you would use, you would be on the ground and you would be flying above a 2-story building by the time you ran out of jetpack. And I found that to be excessively ridiculous. And if you play the zombies is no jetpacks. It's a zombies game mode. And it was so good. It was so good boots on the ground. Like, in the zombies mode, you could see that it had so much potential to be such a good game boots on the ground. And, like, if we take Black Ops 2, for example, Black Ops 2 was not very in the future, but in near future, and it was boots on the ground, and it was a perfect game. That was our magnum opus in the Call of Duty universe, was Black Ops 2. And that's solely based...
That is, like, the whole, what we want to see in every new Call of Duty.
Right, like, that's... Black Ops 2, if we had a rating scale based on the games, Black Ops 2 would be top tier number 1. That would be, like, if we were comparing a game to it, and if it got a top tier like Black Ops 2 good, then that's going to be another magnum opus of the franchise. And that's just not going to happen. It's really not. I bet you if you ask every Call of Duty game, their top one, their first top game would be Black Ops 2 or Black Ops 1. Of course, there's those little stragglers that like MW3, but we don't accept those guys. They're just there.
I feel people only bought for either the campaign or some shit for the Spec Ops. Because
Enemy
Spec
SATCOM
Ops,
spotted.
I like what they did with Spec Ops for MW3, but
And it was good in MW2 as well.
yeah, it was. But MW3 was mainly just for the campaign. I mean, you got to kill
Yeah.
Makarov. It was just the game of the year.
And if I remember correctly, Makarov was somewhat of a little troublemaker in Black Ops, not Black Ops, but Modern Warfare 2, right?
Yes, he was. He was basically
Enemy care
Right.
the
package
main
incoming.
protagonist, I guess you could say.
I wouldn't say that Dragonov. No, Dragonov. No, that was Modern Warfare 1, who I'm thinking of. But, even, like, I'm pretty sure Makarov was even mentioned in Modern Warfare 1, right? Like, when
He
they
was.
did like, when they did the remaster of I keep on wanting to call it Black Ops 1, but of Modern Warfare 1, in the remastered version, there's a dude in the back of the Jeep during that sniper scene, the Barrett 50 cal, and if you shot him, you would get an achievement called I forget what the achievement was called, but it was pretty much just the achievement was saying finishing wars before they started or something like that, something along the lines of that. And I thought that was really cool, and it just gives a shout out to how inclusive the Modern Warfare franchise was within itself, and I thought that was really cool. Oh, that's a Juggernaut. I just started shooting at him like he was a dude. But anyway, yeah, I felt like Modern Warfare was just more of the same with Modern Warfare. There I go again. What the fuck?
Squad.
It was just more of the same Call of Duty. It just furthered the campaign of the Modern Warfare franchise.
Enemy SATCOM
I don't want to say it was lackluster, but like I said, it was just more of the same. It did nothing special. It was just a furtheration of the game itself. And I mean, that's okay. Sometimes that's what a series is. Like if you look at Star Wars, for example, that's all Star Wars is just a furtheration of a storyline, which is okay. I don't say that's a bad thing, but people absolutely like idolize Modern Warfare 3 for its Spec Ops, and I don't think that's fair to say, if you know what I mean, because compared to Black Ops 2, when Black Ops 2 changed the meta of Call of Duty, changed so many things, did so many different other things, it really was a changing. If this dude don't get out of my way, my gosh, you can't. This dude's an idiot. But anyway, Black Ops 2 was a new thing. It was more. It changed from Black Ops 1 and even Black Ops 3. If you notice something about the Black Ops franchise, is they did things differently with each game. When Modern Warfare 2, Modern Warfare 3 all did the same thing. It was more of the same.
When they released, what was it? I want to say Modern Warfare 4. First
You
Modern
mean
Warfare.
COD 4 Modern Warfare?
Yeah.
Enemy
COD
SATCOM
4
spotted.
Modern Warfare. I feel like they didn't have a lot of idea with what they were gonna do with that story.
Yeah.
Because a lot of shit went down in that. Like, there was, I believe, Gaz died in it.
Yep, Gaz died. He was one of our first losses.
Like, it showed Zakayev's son die too. And, like, a lot of this stuff...
Zakayev! That's what the dude I was thinking of.
Yeah, yeah. Like, a lot of the stuff that's happened hasn't happened yet in the newer games. And it's weird because it's like... How are you gonna start something but yet take it back way before the stuff even started years later?
Right. And so with that, I want to get into more towards Modern Warfare 2 now. Because I really wanted to work our way to the Modern Warfare series so that way we could get into more of the Modern Warfare 2 now. And in the Modern Warfare series, we saw a character named Simon Ghost Riley. He was, oh my gosh, this is the worst map in this game. It is way too big for a 6v6. Way too big. But anyway,
Team deathmatch.
we were introduced to a character named Simon Ghost Riley. If you tried to get information about it within the game lore, if you tried to get information on him, you either ended up dead, missing, or you were just turned around immediately because nobody knew who he was. The name Silent Ghost Riley was not his actual name. Nobody knows his real name. And what I'm hoping to see in the new Modern Warfare 2 is more light on him. And that's what it seems to be, is really focused on Simon Ghost Riley and who he is as a person, what he's doing in the franchise. And that's what I'm really excited for. I don't know why I'm using this gun. It is the worst gun. But, and that's what I'm really hoping to see, honestly, because it's what we need. It's what people have been asking for years when the first Modern Warfare series came out. And then we got to see him in Modern Warfare 2019, and we still didn't know who he was. He was still Simon Ghost Riley with a blank file. And he was hinted at when you finished the Call of Duty 2019, well, the Modern Warfare 2019 campaign. He was hinted at, saying when Price was talking about his new task force that he was going to put together. And he was sitting, I forget that girl's name, but when he was sitting down with the girl, he was laying out all these names. He said Gaz, somebody else. We got to, if you looked closely into the files, you could see Silk McTavish's name. And then he pulled out a file, she pulled out the file, and it said Simon Ghost Riley, and she said, "Who's this guy? There's no pictures." And he's like, "Exactly." That gave me goosebumps. I'm like,
It did.
They're gonna bring him back. And like, even talking about it, like right now, I got goosebumps. Like, talking about how I felt was, they're bringing him back, and he's gonna look great. Because if he doesn't look great, the Call of Duty franchise is going to be absolutely, utterly pissed. And I bet you, I'm counting on it. If he is not what they say he's going to be, I bet you Call of Duty is going to lose a lot of people. And not just for that game alone. I bet you there's going to permanently... I know, in my case, if he's not what he's going to say, what he's going to be, they say he is, Oh my gosh, I cannot fucking talk. If he is not what they say he is, I myself may not buy any more Call of Duties after that.
Enemy SATCOM
Yeah,
spotted.
about the same way.
Because, like, with these new Call of Duties they've been coming out with, like Infinite Warfare, yeah, it in a big grand scale to like all the Call of Duties together with Infinite being in it, Infinite sucked compared to the rest of the Call of Duties. Infinite as its standalone game as it was a good game. It was. And I have no problem with Call of Duty coming out with shitty games if they're their own games, because they're not affecting the storyline of Call of Duty, Modern Warfare, Black Ops, well, the Black Ops series, or any of the, like, I would say the Ghost series, because I feel like Infinite Warfare falls within the Ghost series, honestly. It had a lot of Ghost vibes to it. A lot of the guns, the way it moved, the map designs, I felt like it was a part of the Ghost series. But anyway, with Black Ops 3 was kind of a letdown, but it wasn't at the same time. It was still a good, solid game, even for in the Black Ops series.
Black Ops 3 was a big boost for the zombies community.
Oh yeah, completely. And that's also why it was a completely utter good game, because when Black Ops 3 was coming to its end, we found, well, they released Zombie Chronicles. And since you are the biggest Zombie Chronicles user, Owen, I'm going to let you talk about that.
Basically, Zombie Chronicles was remakes of past zombie maps and newer, I guess you could say.
In a newer light.
Yeah, in a newer light. I couldn't tell you why they remade them, but they just did it to make them look better.
Sadly, no transit.
I wouldn't even say sadly no transit, because transit, I think transit was made
Poorly.
bad. I guess
It was a good concept, but made poorly.
it was a good concept, but it didn't really work out in their favor. With the bus idea, I thought that was pretty clever, though. That was a pretty clever idea, but
also I'm sorry,
didn't.
I'm gonna derail it just a tiny bit for a second. In more, I forgot to mention in gaming news, they are going to be adding a Zombies Chronicle 2 to Black Ops 4, and it's going to be bringing back Transit and other more iconic maps from Black Ops 2. Okay, continue.
Enemy SATCOM spotted.
Basically, after playing Zombie Chronicles, it just gave you a boost of, at least they're trying to do something with the zombies community and not just let it sit and, you gotta play these old maps over and over. Instead, you got newer version of it with different guns, different aspects of the game.
I love that.
Like, the Gobblegum feature. That was I think, the best thing they could do for what they tried to do. That was the best idea they could have ever done.
I completely utterly agree.
It was weird because, you're literally eating the fucking
That's what I thought was gonna happen.
ball of gum within a zombies game, but the fact that the gum gave you a certain power up or something just it was unique, and I really liked that idea. And for Infinite Warfare, and with they did the Fate and Fortune cards, that was okay, but I still think the Gobblegums from Black Ops 3 were top notch.
I agree.
And if you get Zombie Chronicles, any Gobblegum you buy, in like the very first Gobblegum you buy in a round, is free. It's totally free.
Which I thought that was really cool.
That was fucking awesome.
I thought that was really cool that they added that with the Zombie Chronicles, because honestly, it was pain in the butt, well, pain in the ass to fucking have to pay $1,500 for a Gobblegum just in the regular zombies modes. Well, zombie game maps. I thought that was my least favorite part about playing Black Ops 3 Zombies. And then they came out with that, and then it would, like, if I could tell you one thing about Black Ops 3 Zombies that really made it stand out was Gobblegum. It could either completely change the way you had an interaction with that single time you played. It could either turn the game into your favor or cause you to die. It was one of those things that was either really good or really bad, and I love to see that because it made the game both better and it gave you a chance to change the way you played. And Gobblegum did that perfectly. It really did. And the fact that they made it free with the first purchase of each round when you got the Zombies Chronicles was an amazing thing, because that means instead of spending $1,500 of your own points, you could then get a Gobblegum for free that you already had to save up. You already had to save up Dr. Monty. I forget what the vials of things are called, but anyway.
I think they're like liquid divinium.
Yeah, divinium. So yeah, I thought that was, yeah. And it was just a good way. Sadly, to get specialized Gobblegums, you did have to participate in the supply drops. Okay, so to wrap it up, let's talk about our hopes with the new Modern Warfare coming out. Owen, I'll have you start.
Hopes for the new Modern Warfare, obviously, like we already said, the campaign,
Team deathmatch.
and with weapons, I really do hope the ACR returns.
Oh my gosh, yes.
What an absolute beautiful they are from the old days.
Time to work, Ghost Squad.
I really hope that Remington comes back, because that was also a pretty solid rifle.
Yes, that was a very solid gun. With
This guy's good.
Modern Warfare 2, not sure. I mean, I hope Spec Ops return, but I'm not sure how they would do that.
Well, to be fair, back in the day when Spec Ops was in Modern Warfare 2, nobody really understood it until, like, it didn't get famous until, like, I think, like, a year after it came out was when people really started to give it a second look, because people thought it was stupid for a while, and then they found out it was actually really fun.
I mean, Spec Ops, have you played the Modern Warfare 2019 Special Ops? Like,
When it was out, yeah.
They weren't the same as Modern Warfare 2.
I
but they had
remember
the
them
same-
being terrible.
No, they weren't terrible. They were absolutely fucking hard, is what they were.
Yeah.
They were,
I do remember that. Like, after, like, round, I think it was, like, 6 or something, like, a juggernaut would appear, and it was just an absolute shit show after that. By the way, Owen, the score streak you were thinking of that has the launcher that looks like the SATCOM is the IMS.
yeah, that's it. But other than that, I mean, I can't really say anything else of returning. I mean, I hope they just don't screw it up. I mean, they're with the trailers that they're bringing out, it looks like it's gonna be a good thing. But I don't know. They hyped up Vanguard pretty good, and Cold War, and
That was a pile of shit.
and you can see what happened.
Both of those were piles of shit. Yeah. Cold War was a pile of shit, but I liked the zombies in Cold War. I really did. If I'm gonna be honest. I really heavily enjoyed Cold War zombies.
What I can say got me to get Cold War would be the campaign.
Campaign was solid.
The campaign for Cold War, you know, it being Vietnam/Cold War era, I am absolutely, you know, what's the word I'm looking for? I don't know. I just,
History buff?
I guess you could say adore the war errors. Like, I love to learn about it.
He likes
so
the wars, guys. He likes all the wars. He likes the wars.
I like the storytelling in it. Obviously, Mason, Woods, and all that. How they brought in Adler and the new character that you play as, Bell.
I also like that you could customize your character for the campaign. I did like that part. Some people hated that.
You could customize, like, even though you couldn't necessarily see it, but like apparently, you could customize the dude's skin, his name.
And we saw that with Black Ops 3 too. And I also liked it in Black Ops 3.
But with Black Ops 3, you could see it. You could see your character.
Yeah.
But and with Cold War, there was another thing that you could do with your character. For Cold War and making a character, it gave you two selections. You had to select 2 perks out of multiple that they gave you of like selections to choose from, and those perks would give you like a certain boost throughout the entire game. And that's what I really liked. Was one would be faster reloading, more ammo throughout the whole, you know, missions and everything. More grenades, more tacticals. I believe one was if you were damaged too much, you reloaded faster or something like that. I'm not too sure.
While taking damage, being able to reload faster, yeah. I remember that.
I think there was another one that you could believe throw this no, not throw. What is it?
I don't know, good buddy.
Yeah, that's what I'm trying to think, good buddy.
But anyway, so what I'm hearing is you're hoping that comes into Modern Warfare 2? That's what I'm getting out of that?
Yes.
Okay.
Just the whole Spec Ops and how, you know, implementing it back into this newer game.
Right. Is there anything else you're hoping for in that game?
Not really. I mean, Modern Warfare 2 necessarily didn't have too much other than just the campaign, multiplayer, and Spec Ops. I mean, if they could add something other than that, but they already have Warzone coming out with it, so we got that to look forward to.
Yep, I'm excited for that too. What's your opinion on this Warzone 2? What do you think about it?
I mean, I'm really hoping to be able to try it and it not be too much of Warzone. They said they were changing it up a little bit, like a different movement style, I guess. Just in general, like sliding, mounting, mantling, and everything. Just it's gonna be different than Warzone 1. So, just hopefully they don't fuck that up and there won't be too much bugs, and it'll be smooth. Because I believe it's only going to be on PS5 and Xbox S's.
No, I think it's coming out on the PS4. That would be a dumb decision, especially because of the low sales for PS5s. I think that would be stupid.
But it would just be too much for a regular PS4 or a regular Xbox S to handle.
I would disagree, because with the new Call of Duty that's coming out, it's still going to be on the Unreal Engine 4. Like, that's the most we have. They're talking about making Unreal Engine 5, but that's years away. It took, this is running on Unreal Engine 3, and this came out how many years ago? Almost 10 years ago. And we're on Unreal Engine 4 with Modern Warfare. And we didn't start seeing Engine 4 until, I think Modern Warfare 2019 was the first Unreal Engine 4 that we saw. I think that was, yeah.
I mean, with this new Modern Warfare and how it's going to be, I know its storage size is going to be huge. I mean, I'm sure you've heard my PlayStation before. Anytime I get on Modern Warfare 2019, it sounds like it's... Yep, it sounds like it's about to go to space. So, I'm not too sure. I mean, it'd be pretty awesome if it would work for PS4, and it won't be, having my PlayStation running a fucking 5K while going to, Mars and all that, sweating it all, Because, I swear, I won't even be on it for less than 2 seconds, and it's just screaming.
Yep. The engine for Modern Warfare 2019 didn't have a name until IGN was told at E3. Oh, wait, no. Sorry, I'm talking about the old one. Sorry. Give me 1 second. Oh, I take that back. Unreal Engine 4 was Black Ops 3. And then Modern Warfare 2019 was Unreal Engine A. It was code named IW 8.0. So it was essentially Unreal Engine A, and it was the 8th subdivision of the Unreal Engine. So there isn't an Unreal Engine 4. It went from Unreal Engine 3 to Unreal Engine A. So sorry, that was inaccurate information for me. I'm sorry. But anyway, to continue on, Owen.
I believe that was it.
Alright. Well, so I'm going to tell you guys my quick opinion on it. What I'm really hoping for Modern Warfare 2 is it to not be shit.
I think that's everybody.
That's everybody, but if we really look into it, Call of Duty's been putting out shit games for the past 6 or 7 years. After Black Ops 3, with the exception of Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2019. I will say, and it's sad to say that Infinite Warfare falls within that bracket timeline of shitty Call of Duty games. After Black Ops 3, Call of Duty immediately declined. It was pushing out flops. Advanced Warfare was a solid standalone game, but a shitty Call of Duty game. Fucking, Infinite Warfare was a good standalone game, but a shitty Call of Duty game. After Infinite Warfare came out, World War II came out. World War II was supposed to be this game-changing back to boots on the ground, and it wasn't. It was boots on the ground, but it was nothing game-changing. We saw gameplay like this before in the oldest Call of Duty games, which was Call of Duty Big Red 1. All these other different Call of Duties were all World War II, and they just stepped right back onto this new trend that Battlefield was getting into. Battlefield started off as a modern shooter, and then went into World War I with Battlefield 1, and it was amazing because it was, with World War games, you have to have those big maps. You have to get the full feel of a world war. World War I was these huge, absolute huge dugout trench firefights, like not even being able to pop your head up without your head getting popped off. That's how the war was back then. And Call of Duty World War II was not what that was. Call of Duty World War II was all like spy games. And that's not what it was advertised as. What it did bring to the table was the multiplayer game mode War. And the only good war map there was the D-Day one. And even then, it started off big. It was on this limited area of the beach. It was slightly big, I would say. It was about the size of a normal multiplayer map, but in this one singular area. You would fight to get up the beach, blow down a couple doors, kill the only two pillboxes, and then you'd move on. And then it just like funneled into a small cone back into the small firefight areas. And when you first started to play that map, you were like, oh, this is awesome. And then you moved on to the second stage, and you're like, okay, this is still pretty cool. And then by the time you got to the third one, it was just like, really? It was uncool to give it so much hype as this game, and then when it came out, it was completely opposite. It was more of the same. It was pay to play. Well, not pay to play, but it was play to win. It was... No, actually, I take that back. It wasn't pay to win. No, it was. It was, because it had the different variations of the guns, and like Infinite Warfare, the different variations of the guns did a different thing that you couldn't get out of an attachment.
Mm-hmm.
So, and I think, no, I take that back. No, I'm wrong. World War II they had variations of that gun, but it didn't do anything. I retract my statement on that. But anyway, continuing on, it was just more of a shooty, killy game. And that's not what we're looking for. Because as games further go on, we're shown that, hey, you guys deserve a good game, not some bullshit game. And Call of Duty did that with Modern Warfare 2019, was they gave us a really good, solid game. That's what it was. It was new, it was fresh, it did a lot more things. It was advertised as this game, and it came out as that game. It played completely different. Everything was smooth. Your character felt more alive than just two arms holding a gun. And that's what was really appreciated about Modern Warfare, was it felt more alive, more real, more... It was just... The game itself, if I could describe it with one word, would be yes. And that's what it was. And that's what I'm really hoping with this Modern Warfare 2 is I'm really hoping it doesn't go back to like how Cold War went to, where it felt like two arms and a gun.
Mm-hmm. I like the fact of, you know, you being able to look down, you could see your character's feet.
Yeah.
Like,
and you could see your character's
something better.
I believe you could see your character's feet in Cold War, but it still felt 90% of the time. No, actually, I don't know if you could. I'm gonna hold off on that statement, but it still felt like two arms holding a gun, runny, shooty, bang, bang. And that's just not what we're looking for anymore. Dude, Infinite Warfare, which came out before Cold War, felt more alive than Cold War did. And that was in the future with jetpacks and shit and people flying around everywhere. Which, that's another thing that I say that Infinite Warfare did, was... that's why it was a good standalone game. It was... Oh my gosh, I cheesed all those shots. It was a good standalone game, but a shitty Call of Duty game. But that's what I'm really hoping with Modern Warfare, is Modern Warfare feels alive. The environments feel alive. The player doesn't feel like two arms holding a gun and occasionally throwing a grenade. And I really hope it doesn't feel like more shooty, and I really hope to see those elemental things like we did in Modern Warfare 19, like having wind in, well, solely in the campaign, because you can't really have it in multiplayer, because in multiplayer it is a runny, shooty, which is I'm completely fine with. What I'm more hoping for, right? I'm really, all my big aspirations for Modern Warfare 2 resides in the campaign, because that's what 90% of the people look for in Call of Duty, and that's why Black Ops 4 flopped.
I'm hoping Modern Warfare 2 has a long campaign. I'm hoping it has good details and, you know, a good storytelling, good everything.
Yeah, I agree with that. I would like to see a longer, more campaign, but I don't want to see a long, drawn-out campaign. I would like to see a long, good, keep the story moving campaign, but not long to where, like, back then playing Modern Warfare 1 had a great campaign, but a lot of missions were just drawn out, if you know what I mean. Like the laying in the field with, I believe it was Soap and Captain Price, right?
No, it
Friendly
was
SATCOM active.
Captain McMilligan
SATCOM ready.
and
Captain
Lieutenant
McGilligan.
Price at the time.
Yep, and Lieutenant Price. That I feel like that mission was really drawn out, and that mission
I loved the missions.
I loved it
When they
too.
were in the radioactive city, absolutely my favorite.
Yeah, when you were in Chernobyl, I loved that mission, but I also felt like it was boring at the same time.
I can understand what you mean by that.
Like, it was a really good storytelling, but it was also boring. Like, it was.
Like, did
It
you
felt.
with the them two missions? Did you get the eerie vibe from it?
Oh yeah, of course. It was. Oh yeah, that was eerie as fuck. It was. It felt like it could have been a zombie area, if you know what I mean.
Mm-hmm.
And it was just solely based on how they made the map feel. They really captured Chernobyl well, and
In
like
its state.
in its current state at the time. And like, if you played it now, you'd be like, okay, this is cool. But back then, with that state-of-the-art technology back then and stuff like that, that was really impressive. That was one of the first Call of Duties that took photo capturing and rendering into a game. Because, like, they took pictures of the Chernobyl sites and stuff like that were famous, and then they put it in there, like the Ferris wheel, the very famous Chernobyl Ferris wheel, that was in there. And it looked really good. That area is pretty cool. The famous picture of the empty pool, that was in there. I thought that was also pretty cool. And they did Chernobyl justice. And if you watch on YouTube any of the people that like go spelunking in Chernobyl, you will hear them at least once say that it has an eerie or scary feeling, because it is. It's a radioactive wasteland of mutated creatures. And obviously on the internet it's been proven. I mean, have you seen the deer that's in Chernobyl?
Oh yeah, they're freaky looking, dude.
It's like Chernobyl is everybody's fear and the basis of a lot of horror, because it just makes sense of a horror vibe, like in a radioactive test facility blows up, and then boom, just right in that little sentence you have probably 30,000 plus movies, games, or whatever that you could create out of that. You could say that ended the world, or created a new zombie, or whatever the fuck. You know what I mean? It has that eerie start to it, and even though it's like a baseline thing, it's still... They made it eerie because it's an eerie place to be at. And I'm really glad you brought that up, because that's one of my favorite things that I loved about that map, was how eerie it was. And to continue on with that, I do agree that I want it to have a long campaign, but I don't want it to be long and drawn out like that mission was. Because even though it was a good mission, think of it like a Lord of the Rings movie. It was good but drawn out.
We'll be prepared next time.
It was a lot. 90% of that mission was just laying down on the ground and letting tanks roll over you and being quiet. And you just sat there like, okay, when am I gonna get up?
See,
When am I gonna get up?
that's what I didn't necessarily like about that campaign mission, was because when they were in the grass and shit, and they had the soldiers walking by them, whatnot, they were right there. Even with ghillie suits on,
Right.
I'm sure one of them soldiers would have at least had to have spotted one of them.
One of these things is not like the other.
Yeah.
There's, like, in the military, we are trained to look for very specific details to find things like that. Like with a ghillie suits are meant for far away reconnaissance and or tactical control. They're made for taking what's around you, putting them on this suit that has a very basic camouflage, putting things on you around you that to blend in to the environment, but like
Team deathmatch.
it's not a science, if you know what I mean. It blending in is a science, my bad. It really takes something to not look like you. And we are trained in the military to look for that, is to look for things that look like human beings, especially in a jungle environment. Jungle environments, you're going to see more ghillie suits for spec ops because jungles are way easier to hide in. There's brush, there's trees, there's dark shadows because of the trees. There's 92 different other fucking things that you can hide in. But in a field with tall grass, you're not gonna have an effective ghillie suit. You're not gonna be well hidden because there's no way to, because there's not enough contrast in the area for you to be well hidden. And that's what also took me out of that mission a little bit, was because nothing made sense about that mission. Don't get me wrong, it was one of the best missions in Call of Duty, for sure, because of just how you could see the different levels of Call of Duty had, I would say. And it also gave a good story background for Zakiv or whatever, and 92 different other things. It was good for the time. But it was drawn out, and I don't want to see that with Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2, because, and if I would be okay with it having that one mission. Like, partly why Modern Warfare 1 was so good was because that was the only real fault in that campaign, was that one mission, was the Chernobyl mission. And in Modern Warfare 2019, there was another drawn-out mission, and that was the mission where you play as What's-Her-Face when she was a kid, and you were just crawling around in her house trying to run away from those dudes, and it gave you an eerie feeling because you had a dude chasing you without chasing you. That was one of those things where it was like, oh, this is really cool, but fuck, this is taking forever. Like, it's not a hard concept for me to say this. Well, it's not a hard concept, but I mean, this concept isn't a hard thing to understand, what I'm about to say. We want a story that, because this Call of Duty is a fast-paced gaming franchise. It is a fast-paced FPS gaming franchise, which is okay. That's partly what makes them fun. We want a fast-paced campaign, but we also want a good story with good character development, with good missions. And that doesn't mean that they have to be drawn out. It doesn't mean that they have to be fucking looking like a Michael Bay movie and exploding everything and being absolutely fucking fast-paced. And no, take your time a little bit. Make it action-packed, but also tell a good story. And that's what Modern Warfare 2019 was it was telling a good story, a good mix between slow and fast, and good storytelling, and that's what we needed, and that's what I'm really okay. And that's what I'm really hoping with Modern Warfare 2. And Modern Warfare 2, since it's based in that same reality, has a really good chance of being that. And it's going, like, everybody's talking about how Modern Warfare 2 is going to be this make it or break it Call of Duty game. Because us Call of Duty players are, quite frankly, sick of it. That we're getting pushed out these shitty ass games, and they're like, did Vanguard come out with a beta?
Yeah, it did.
Okay. So Vanguard came out with a beta, but still. It's like, buy this game, because this is this game. And then we come out with, and then it actually fucking drops, and it plays a little bit different than the beta. Everything's a little bit more shittier. And it's sad. It's sad that Call of Duty has resorted to that as a franchise. Maybe it's the developer doing that, but so far from what I've seen, what I think should happen is Treyarch should take a few years of a break. Sledgehammer should not be allowed to make any more Call of Duty games, because they obviously don't know what the fuck they're doing. And I think Raven Software should take the reins.
We're losing this fight.
I think Raven Software is the savior of our community, because Raven Software came out with Ghost. It was an underrated game because of how advanced it was for its time. And then they came out with fucking Modern Warfare 2019, which was advanced, and it was matched for that time. And now they're coming out with Modern Warfare 2, and I've never been more excited to see a Call of Duty game, just to see what the fuck they're gonna do with the storyline, because the storyline was so good before. That's my main hopes. And I also really hope that the guns are balanced, because Modern Warfare also did a good job at having balanced weapons. And one more hope I have for Modern Warfare is just to be an all-around solid game. I want it to be a solid game in a franchise that has been so wishy-washy with good, not good, and so there's so many Call of Duties now, and most of them at this point are terrible. About I would say 45% of the games that Call of Duty has came out with is terrible. And that's not good. It's really not. They really stopped changing the pace after Black Ops 3. And then the next time we saw a change of pace was Modern Warfare 2019. It was a new pace. It was slowed down and more tactical, and yet still fast.
Yeah.
And I don't think I could give a better description of the game than that, honestly. And that's what I'm hoping for with Modern Warfare 2, is a continuation of that. I know I talked previously about furtheration of storylines, like with the first Modern Warfare series, but to be fair, that was during a time where every single Call of Duty before Modern Warfare 3 felt like two arms and a gun. Because it was. That's all it was based on, was two arms and a gun. Like, if you look at gameplay of Call of Duty 1, if you weren't I don't even think there was a modern multiplayer for Call of Duty 1. But I know for Call of Duty 2, in multiplayer it was a full body, but in the campaign, if you hacked the game and like took your camera out of the body, it was 2 arms and a gun. That's all it was. Is because what else did you need for it? And that was fine because that was cutting edge technology back then. Nowadays, where it's expected to have more because, I mean, we have games like Horizon Zero Dawn that came out. We have Horizon Forbidden West. We have new variations of Lego games, and those were almost, for the longest time, those were copy and paste, but each one was completely different. They all did a different thing. And like with the new Lego game that came out, the Skywalker Saga, that was a continuation, but completely different. And that's what Modern Warfare 2019 did, was it was a continuation of the 2 arms and a gun, but they added so much to it to make it feel more real. And that's what we wanted. We want the formula to be damn near the same, but we also want it to be different. It can be different with having the same core. It's like a kid. It's the same kid, but when it grows older, it's still the same person, but different. And that's what we want. We want the series to grow older. So that's what I'm looking for. I'm just looking for a solid game that continues on changing and still yet keeping the same formula. Owen, do you have anything else to add?
No, I don't.
Alright, guys. Well, that's going to end it. So, this was the first episode of News on the New, and that was 2.5 hours. I would like to keep it at 2 hours, but of course, my ass, talking is my thing, as you guys can tell. But so Owen, is there anything you want to tell to the people out there of the YouTubes and other places?
No, not really. I mean, just have a good day, I guess.
All right. And as always, keep on gaming, keep on setting those bars, and keep on being kids. This has been Nuclear BFG 9000 and Solster 115, and we will catch you guys on the next episode.